The Florida Gators just absolutely dominated the Virginia Cavaliers after what seemed like it was going to be a pretty close game.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast and Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube as always. And for the fourth time today, I am Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI. And first off, it's good to be back doing basketball content. We will, now that early signing day has passed and the football season has mostly wrapped up, we will be getting back into doing these shows more consistently after the games, which, I mean, Florida has a week off now, a little bit more than that coming up. And, oh my goodness, did the Florida Gators just dominate Virginia, which let's bring it back to the first 10-ish minutes of the game. Q, I think they heard us talking about how they were playing, then picked it up. Yeah, let's talk about that, Q, because for the first few minutes of this game, the Florida Gators played horrendous. It was awful. And it was the most frustrating thing that we've seen because they gave up, 2 open threes to start. Let's go to the play-by-play. They gave up a 3 to Isaac McNeely to start the game. Bang. Then they missed a 3. Then they gave up a 3 to Day Ames, I think. Then they score finally. Then one of the most frustrating things that we've seen in quite some time where Virginia missed a 3. You had, I think it was Alex Condon, Elijah Martin, and I think it was Walter Clayton. All the ball just slowly bouncing by them. Nobody puts in any sort of effort to go pick up the basketball, which is bonkers to me. No one puts in any sort of effort. Virginia gets the ball, and then Virginia scores off of it, which, like, Virginia scored a 2 off of it. It's not like it was like a back-breaking 3 or anything, but it was just nuts to me that's what happened, because the fact that you just didn't even put in – I'm sorry, no, it was the 3. It was a 3. It was 3. It was a missed 3. Offensive rebound after you didn't put even any little bit of effort in, and you leave a wide open 3, and that's what happened. And that was the most frustrating thing that we've seen, because that wasn't even like Jory. I see you mentioned, they start slow. That's not even starting slow. That's not having a defensive lapse. That's not missing your shots. That's putting in 0 effort. And if you're new here, you'll learn this about me. And if you've been here, then you probably know this about me. If you put in 0 effort on something, that's going to drive me crazy. Okay. Like that just irritates the hell out of me. What's up, Brian Tooper? That just irritates the hell out of me. Just laziness drives me nuts when you're an athlete or doing anything competitive. If you're lazy, I hate it. Like, I want to fight you. Obviously, I can't fight you because you'll beat the crap out of me. But I want to fight you if you're going to be lazy about things. And so that's what drove me crazy there. Overall, after that, really good game. There was one stretch where Florida just went on a tear. Let me see if I could pull up the number. I remember sending a message to the subtext users, and I was like, man, like, they're on a 22-6 run after that. It was crazy. Florida at one point had a 20-point lead. And Virginia had a 9-point lead early, and then it was dead. It was over for them. And so starting off the game like that was great. Dan Glockner, 9 steals and forcing 15 turnovers is effort. Yes, but they started the game lazy as hell. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you were here for that. Which, by the way, Dan, what's up? How you doing? Dan's a big hockey guy, if anybody here is also a hockey guy. Dan's a big hockey guy, Florida Gators alum, so there he is. But yeah, how they started the game drove me absolutely nuts because that one was just lazy. And then, after a few minutes, they warmed up, they got into it, and they started clicking on all cylinders. The first half was horrendous shooting. I want to see the first half stats if I can. But yeah, because Florida it was like Walter Clayton was 3 for 10 in the first half. Elijah Martin was, I think, 3 for 8, and Will Richard was like 1 for 3. He was barely even shooting, and it was just ugly. And then in the second half, they just turned it up, or not even in the second half. It was just like after that little Denzel Aberdeen went on a crazy run, had 10 points in the first half, had a steal, and a steal that immediately led to points. Like that was great from him. Denzel Aberdeen played a really great first half, and honestly, if it's not for Denzel Aberdeen's little hot stretch that he had during that long Florida Gators run, we're probably having a different conversation about how this first half went. Florida went on a 15-0 run at one point. Like that, great. Like they went on runs, and basketball is a game of runs, that whole saying. Florida went through that, the 8-man rotation here, and after they cleared up that, again, very frustrating start, it was all Gators all the time. Like Virginia, they put up a good fight at the start. Like Virginia went up, I think it was 22-9 at one point or something like that. Like Virginia went up early, and Florida luckily closed it out and just really went off there. It was 16-7 was and then 18-9. And Florida just went at it. And I gotta say, like, this team, I've talked about it before where I've been like, Florida's going to frustrate me at times where I know there's going to be games where they're not hitting their threes and they're not getting to the line. And those are going to be really bad games because Florida's so reliant on hitting threes and even reliant on getting to the line. Because again, never forget, Todd Golden's approach is always going to be around the rim twos, and catch and shoot threes are the most efficient shots. And part of that is that around the rim twos lead to free throws, especially. So that also contributes to it. And when Florida started the game as sluggish as they did defensively, and then woke up and then started hitting their threes, like, that's one of the best parts about this team is that even when they start slow and even when they frustrate the absolute F out of me, they can catch fire in an instant. And that's what happened. Like Walter Clayton was, if I'm not mistaken, 3 for 10 in the first half. Finished 10 for 19, 7 for 9 in the second half. Went 5 for 12 from 3 overall, had 27 points. Alex Condon had like the quietest 19 points we've ever seen. I feel like he was just consistently chipping away. It wasn't anything crazy. Like he had just 1 3, got to the free throw line, I think 3 times. So it wasn't like he was doing anything insane. He was just consistently chipping away. And the fact that this Florida Gators team is, first off, 9-0, which I think the commentators were saying it during the game. Florida hasn't been 9-0 since the last time they won the national championship. But the fact that this team has so many people that can get it done is really incredible. It's really nuts because Walter Clayton didn't have a good first half. Denzel Aberdeen picked it up. Alex Condon picked it up. Elijah Martin didn't have a good shooting night at all. Like he went 6 for 14, 1 for 6 from 3. He was 5 for 8 from 2. Like that's efficient, but the 1 for 6 from 3 is not. Will Richard, non-existent in this game, went 1 for 5, 1 for 3 from 3. Ruben Chignello didn't score a point, 0 points. He went 0 for 2 from the free throw line, had just 1 block, had 4 rebounds. Like this is a game where the Florida Gators had quite a few players not show up, and you still won by almost 20. To me, I look at that and I'm like, I know that I've kind of sounded the alarm a little bit on there's going to be games where these guys don't shoot well and it's ugly and it's bad and whatever. But I do think that Todd Golden may have built a good enough team where unless everybody's off, you've got a shot. And I think that's really important because, again, You've had Ruben Chignello had a bad game. Or that's, I don't even want to say bad game because he went 0 for 4. Like, he didn't score a point, but it's also not like he was being detrimental to the team's success. Like, it's not like he was hurting the team. Will Richard, 1 for 5. Again, like 5 shot attempts, like it's not that horrible to go through. Elijah Martin did not shoot well. And again, it was the first half that really drove me crazy. In the second half, they beat the crap out of Virginia, just dominated them, outscored them in the second half by 14, beat the crap out of them. But this team being able to have multiple players have off nights and still be able to dominate a 5-2 team by almost 20. And I know, like, this early in the season, we never really know what Virginia is going to be like or what any team's going to be like when you're like, this is the part where you kind of figure things out. But Virginia, to this point in the season, it's not like they've been playing superstar teams, right? They beat Campbell, Coppin State, Nova's pretty good. They lost by a lot to Tennessee. They lost by a lot to St. John. Like their 2 losses prior to were bad losses against really good teams. And, you don't get the feel that Virginia is going to be a really good team. You get the feel they might be a little average, but it's good for Florida where even when you have an off night, you dominated a bad team or an average team. Like that, to me, that tells me, hey, you might have a really good team here. Like just roster wise, where you can have some key players that are supposed to be really good and supposed to be focal points of this team, that they can have bad games and you still blow your opponent out. Like, you still shoot them at the gym. That's to me the sign of a great team, that you can have guys go off or have guys have off nights and other players go off and carry the load. And to me, that tells me, hey, Todd Golden, you might have put a little bit of a squad together this year. Chat, I see you. We'll get to you all in the second half of this celebratory game on a very busy Wednesday night, by the way. Signing day for football when we get back with Locked On Gators. Do you hate the team that you drafted in season-long fantasy, but you want to stay in the action? We're introducing Better Together, the first cooperative daily fantasy platform where teamwork triumphs talent and you can play with your friends, not against them. Pick more or less on real-time player stats, strategize with your partner to boost your odds, and climb the leaderboards together. So grab a friend, join the social daily fantasy movement at Better Together, BETTOR, Better Together. Download Better Together from the App Store and sign up using promo code LOCKEDON for a free $10 entry into any NCAA football or NFL contest, and play with me in the Locked On CFB Saturday Games contest this Saturday. Remember the code Locked On because winning alone is fun, but I promise you, it's better together. Like a team, get it? Like a team. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, or if you want to, you can bet on college basketball as well. Florida did indeed cover the 17.5-point spread. Barely, won by 18. They did cover the 17.5-point spread. Visit FanDuel.com to join today, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free, wherever it's in the podcast and on YouTube. And I wanted to bring up Jacob Rudner. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm fairly certain that's how you pronounce his last name. Just tweeted that Virginia head coach Ron Sanchez, who has been an assistant for multiple teams that have reached the Elite Eight or further, said that the Gators have what it takes to make a deep run this year. He called this Florida team a very complete team multiple times. And I feel like that's what we were talking about right before the break, right? Like, we were talking about, hey, this is a team where even when your good players have a night off, you could still blow out an average team. And, like, again, that's a great sign for me of even when you're not on, you dominated them. And that's huge. And that's exactly what the Florida Gators did against Virginia. And again, I just wanted to say again, like this is a team that they're going to be frustrating at times. I could tell you that factually. They're going to be frustrating at times because they are a team that's so reliant on the three ball. They're a team that, first off, their tempo, I kind of thought they'd be going more up tempo this year. I was like, they got so many guards. They can just push the pace and everybody can ball handle and you can exploit. They haven't really done that. They've been incredibly efficient on offense. pretty decent on defense. But yeah, I thought that when they're not going in the fast break, I thought they'd be a little quicker there. But when we look at just I'm a stats nerd. If you're new here, I like analytics. I like stats. I'm going to talk about them, especially basketball. Todd Golden, huge analytics guy. Now, when we talk about the 4 factors, which if you haven't watched Todd Golden's, I think it was Coach Tube is where he did it on, but it was about, analytics and 4 factors in basketball. It's effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, offensive rebound percentage, and your free throw rate, which is what percentage of your shot attempts are free throws. Florida right now, 68th in the country out of the 300 whatever in effective field goal percentage, 54.7%. If you don't know effective field goal percentage, it essentially weights 3-pointers as more. It's not just like, oh, you made a 3. It's that you made 1.5 twos is essentially how the math works out. Turnover percentage, 31st in the country, which if I'm not mistaken is considerably better than they were last year. They're a full 1.5% better than they were last year in terms of turnover percentage. Their effective field goal percentage is up almost 3%. Their offensive rebounding percentage last year was 37.3%, and it was 8th in the country. This year, 40.6%, also 8th in the country, but 40.6%. Free throw attempts, like the free throw rate, is down considerably from last year. I think a lot of that's not having Zion pull in. I think Zion Pullen being a ball handler and penetrator in the paint, I think that was important for them. Defensively this year, they're way better by, I believe, every metric. They were 107th last year in effective field goal percentage allowed, 318th in turnover percentage, which was horrible, 168th in offensive rebound percentage allowed, and 245th in free throw rate. And they're better in everything except offensive rebounding. They're slightly worse. Like in terms of the 4 factors, which again, this is a thing where Todd Golden wants to build this team doing that. I know, nerd stats, whatever. Todd Golden wants to build this team to do this. This is a really good team in terms of that. And again, the theory is if you win the 4 factors, you will win the basketball game. And so he's built a team that is supposed to win the 4 factors. It's college basketball Moneyball, essentially. That's what they're doing. Now we'll get to the chat to wrap up tonight, which has been a very long night. Q, go Gators, UVA equals Gatorbait. Yep, Q, yeah, that they heard us talking. Q is part of the Subtext, the Insider program, which the link's in the description below. It's 2 weeks free, $5 a month after that. Q is part of that. We were talking about how the laziness and stuff was driving us nuts. They were hitting shots. That's another thing. Virginia went cold. Even when they did get open looks, they went cold after that. Our Gator boys have been starting slow, but get hot when things start clicking. Aberdeen kept us alive in the first. Condon had a great second half. Walt always shows out. Walter Clayton is just built different. I don't know what's up with that man. He's just built different. That's the only way I could put it. Defense caused mistakes. Offense cashed in. Yeah. Early on, Florida played lazy, and then once the defense started going, which we talked about, Dan, once the defense started paying attention and started actually trying, they got snappy. What was DJ Lagway's shooting percentage? You're not going to believe this. Didn't miss a shot. DJ Lagway did not miss a shot tonight. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. Let's go Gators. Ruben was off tonight. He had such a good game last Friday. I had someone that does not watch college basketball but is a Knicks fan. Like I am a Knicks fan also. I had someone who does not watch college basketball but is a Knicks fan. I guess see my tweet about Ruben Chinielu last Friday when he just went. He had like a first half double-double almost. He had 14 points, 11 rebounds in the entire game in a 35-point blowout. And he was like, can he be a future Knick? And I was like, hopefully. I miss Mike White's scoring droughts. Oh my God. Look, I loved Colin Castleton, but watching every possession be, hey, Colin, get in the low post and we're going to run the offense through you was just the most frustrating thing. Auburn's kicking the crap out of Duke right now, by the way. It's 16-8. Golden has assembled a great team with depth. You really have people have off nights and others step up. This team may save his job. I don't know about that. Mike White actually has UGA. That's another thing. Mike White does have UGA playing fairly well right now. He's got a team. Winning cures all. Even I'm not going to repeat that part. Do you think the allegations against Golden will affect the remainder of our season? I honestly don't know. I have no idea about that whole situation. Just I'm assuming whenever the investigation finishes, they'll have some kind of ruling. I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm glad Mike White's gone. He was too Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Yep. Yeah, Duval. He was just screwing with you. Rob sarcastic. Just know that. Rob sarcastic, or if he criticizes the offensive line, we blame him because he's Rob Sale. So that's what we do there. We feel like with Clayton's ability to create his own shot and drain threes, we can come from behind late against anyone. Yep. Yeah, that's you guys are having that conversation, and it's damn right. Like also, Walter Clayton Jr. went off in the March Madness game against Colorado to end the season last year. Like let's not forget that. That game he had 39 points, I think it was. He went 10 for 17, 4 for 10 from 3, 9 for 10 from the free throw line, 33 points. He went off. Only one turnover, which for him last year was an issue there. Walter Clayton Jr. can lead this team to the promised land. I'll tell you now, before the season, I placed my bets on Florida to advance to the Final Four and for Florida to win the national championship. I bet them to do it all because honestly, I think this team's really freaking talented. Like I think that this is a legitimate like last season, Florida reached my expectations. I know people thought Sweet 16 and this. My expectations for last season were make the tournament, just make March Madness in the 2023 season, and that's my expectation for you. This I genuinely have I think Elite 8 is the expectation. If you don't reach that, assuming there's no major injuries, if you don't make that, then I'll be disappointed. But I think for me, Elite 8 is the expectation for these Gators this year. And honestly, obviously I know we're 9 games into the season. They haven't played a ranked team yet, but they looked really good. Like they've scored 98, 81, 86, 87, 84, 93, 75, 88, 87. They've scored 80 plus in every game except for one. And in that game, they only allowed 58. But they've scored so many points so consistently so far to start the year. Where I feel like last year, even early, we were like, oof, rough start to the season there. Or rough performance there they had early. Because, yeah, last year they had started the year against Virginia. They scored 73. They had against Merrimack, they scored 77. Like they had a few games where it was like, you should have blown them out. And they didn't. And here, they've been kind of beating the crap out of a lot of people right now. Like they won first game by 15, second game by 19, third game by 16. They beat FSU by 13 after going up huge early on. They beat FAMU by 24. They beat Southern Illinois by almost 30. They beat Wake Forest by 17. They beat Wichita State by 37. They just beat Virginia by 18. Like this is one of their closest games they've played, and they won by 18. Like this team has legitimate, deep March Madness run roster. Like they've got that potential, and that's huge. They're 13th in the country right now. They're going to climb up. I mean, they just need more quality wins, I think, right now. But I'm just saying, this is a really freaking good team right now. And they've got a lot of potential. And I do think that one key factor for me when I think of why they can make a deep run is that they've got very talented guards. And I'm more so talking about Walter Clayton Jr. and Elijah Martin than I am with Will Richard, just because I look at Will Richard as more of like the small forward type. And I think guard play is like having good guards and added bonus of elite big play. I think those are the things where it's like those teams tend to make deep runs. And right now you've got a team that can shoot the lights out on any given night. And like, here's the thing too. Will Richard's having a bad year right now. Like he's not shooting well at all from three. That's like his main thing. And he's not shooting well from three. Imagine when he figures it out. Like imagine when he figures it out. Because last year, Will Richard shot 34.5% from three. The year prior, he shot 39.8. The year prior, he shot 32.6. Right now, he's shooting 24.4%. Even if he like regresses to the mean or progresses to the mean, I guess, even if he gets to like 30%, that's an extra point or so per game, but that's like he's going to have a game where he goes off, right? He's going to have a game where he erupts. Alex Condon, he's probably going to regress to the mean a little bit shooting percentage-wise. He's shooting 42% from three. So is Thomas Huck. Like, they're probably going to regress to the mean a little bit, but Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin could keep up their clips from three. Like, this is a team where they've got the potential to have elite guard play, or they've got the potential to make a deep run because they've got pretty damn good guard play. They've got elite guards, but maybe not the distributing so much, but elite guards. They've got fast break potential tendencies, whatever the hell you want to call it, where they create steals. They got 8 steals per game. I feel like a lot of college basketball teams force turnovers, but getting steals is different. I feel like college basketball has way more just up, they dribbled it out of bounds, got knocked out of bounds, whatever it is. I feel like college basketball has way more of those like just mental errors. But this Gators basketball team is legit creating steals and fast break opportunities there. You got 8 steals. Let's say you score a fast break dunk on half of them. Half. Okay? And I'm saying dunk. I'm saying 2 points. That's 8 points that you're adding right there. Like quick points too. Like stuff like that. They've got a lot of potential here. And like Duval mentioned, they could be more consistent with scoring in the paint down low. Alex Condon takes some rough shots sometimes. I think that Denzel Aberdeen needs to rein it in a little bit. Good game tonight, but even the shots he was hitting, I was still like, that's just not a good shot. He had his and one that he hit tonight that was like, was a wild shot to take. Got fouled and that helped out, but like, if he dials it back, there's some things where like you clean up some mistakes and you're easily talking about an Elite 8 team right here. Like clean up some of the stretches where they go on that are just negative. I think that they have those that are like weird, where it's either turnovers or like a lazy defensive stretch, like to start the game tonight. They've done that in the middle of games before. It's not new. Like I think you clean up some of those, just those little inconsistencies. You clean up some of the shot selection parts. A guy like Will Richard, who's a great shooter, figures out his shot, whatever wrong with him right now. And it's like, all right, well, and also I think they need to crash the boards a little bit more. I'll say that. I do think that they give up too many offensive rebounds a little bit. So rein that in. But you do all that and you're looking at a team that's like, all right, they're going to beat the crap out of a lot of teams. Like they're going to beat good teams. And that's huge. Thank you so much I did not expect this to be a half an hour, but we've had like 3 hours of shows today now, with signing day and all that stuff. And it's just been nuts. And thank you so much. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free wherever it's in the podcast and on YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Don't worry about it. Talk more Florida Gators football. Maybe if there's a commit tomorrow, we'll talk about it. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI. And as always, I will see you all next time.